realising, of course, that this has not been a happy hunting ground for them. They haven't won here for 13 years and only twice in 28 years. The Sharks, undeniable premiership threats, and there's their team: Samet, Rogers, Ettinghausen, Donaghy, Barnett, Healy, Green, Lee, Raper, Davidson, Greenhill, Boughton, Nichow. Good crowd in at Brookvale, probably in the area of 12,000 people. Manly went out a fraction earlier. There's their side, and of course Mark Carroll pulled out today. Ian Roberts goes up to the front row. Daniel Gartner slotting into the second row. Premiership leaders, 16-1 Manly. Kelvin Jeffs blows time on, and Manly against Cronulla. Manly running right, left, and Mitch Healy is the first of the Sharks to get a touch. Brisbane, Canberra, North Sydney, good wins for the Sharks in recent times. And there put down is the number 10, Les Davidson, back from suspension. Good strong hitting in there in the middle of the ruck, particularly by Gillespie. Tuvey in as the second tackler, and here now is Nichow. Sharks have been better this season when they've travelled. But incredibly, their home record last year was close on impeccable. This year has been down, very much down, and away they've been certainly a threat. As the first penalty of the game goes to Manly.
It was very close. Let's have a look. There's only a metre inside the 10. And some authority early. Kelvin Jeffs. There's Hasler. Takes the tap, 45 out, picks up Ian Roberts, celebrating his 30th birthday today.
Roberts has been plagued by that knee injury for the major part of the season. Just watching him getting back into the attacking line. He seems to be fairly free in his action as Gartner leaves it behind him. Cronulla pick up the advantage through Les Davidson. Boughton unloading and sending it across to Green, and this is Samet in from fullback. Big effort required here by the Sharks if they're to be competitive with Manly. It's an awesome experience, we're led to believe, to come here and play. This crowd certainly one of the more vocal these days, ranking with the very best of them. This is Nichow, 35 metres away from the Cronulla line. Again, it's Davidson, former Kangaroo, loves his football. Raper, Aaron Raper, putting it on the ground. Ridge went very close to putting a foot on the line, and he's put away back on his own 20-metre line. So Lions, and a penalty again goes to Manly against Cronulla inside the 10. Greenhill, the offender. Ridge went very close, just a few centimetres. Manly then enjoying their second penalty in the opening exchanges, and Roberts is met, forced down by Danny Lee and Aaron Raper to Wira Nichow. Kosef over in back play there. David Gillespie copped a don't argue. The ball comes loose. Tuvey tries to make the break.
Well, I'm surprised one of the touch judges didn't see that as Gillespie was taken out of the play.
Cunningham gets it to about 22 metres out from the line. The choice of going right and left. Gillespie's all right. He's in the line. And this is Kosef. He got a pass away. It might have had a little question mark on it. It's allowed to go. Played by Ridge. They come back to the left. One-handed take by Lyons. A cut-out pass over the back for Tuvey. And Tuvey swamped in defence. 5 gone. Still a chance for Manly off the boot of Lyons. Pinpoint accuracy, I think. Manly's Danny Moore looked to be first there, and it has come over the dead ball line.
Nice kick by Cliff Lyons back to the blind side. Cronulla hitting with plenty of aggression early in this match. And that ball comes off Moore's fingertips, so Cronulla in possession.
A couple of very good tackles there from Paul Green in that set of 6. Firstly on Owen Cunningham, who made a good 15-metre charge. And then second last play on Jeff Tuvey. Green dummy half now picking up Craig Greenhill, and the first penalty for Cronulla of the night is also a 10-metre infringement against the Manly defence.
How do you see the Sharks, Peter, given that they make the quarterfinals? Do you see them as a true premiership threat?
I think they're the quiet achievers, really, Ray. You look at them, you don't realise they're as high on the ladder as they are, and you've only got to look at what they've done to Canberra and Brisbane this year to say that they have to be.
They've done it with a lot less name players too, which is refreshing. As Nickau hits the blind side, and over there, Eddinghausen. In fact, it's not Eddinghausen, but David Boughton. And now Greenhill. And back and away from Raper and on for Green, and an opportunity for the Sharks for Healy to give for Eddinghausen, and then it goes for Donaghy, and he's 9 metres away from the corner post. Nice exchange by Cronulla. Healy, Green, steps and gets under a tackle, which isn't hard for Paul. Cross now to the left. Healy holds it back. Eddinghausen gets involved again. 5 tackles gone. The Sharks, will they try the air? They keep it low. Ridge is there. He'll get back into the field of play. Does well, Matthew Ridge.
Yeah, great positional play there by Matthew Ridge. Aaron Raper now. Penalty goes to the Eagles again. Another infringement. I want to watch their discipline around the rucks. They had Manly pinned down there.
A little bit of lack of communication for Cronulla as well. The little kick coming through here. There was only one chaser who was taken out. The rest of the Cronulla side were back in a deep backline formation. So they were late getting to Ridge. Otherwise, he'd have had much more trouble getting out. As Gillespie takes the ball up. Good charge. Picks up 8 hard metres.
Kosef offering the decoy for Daniel Gartner. You can see Daniel Gartner in the run-on side in matches that I've been associated with for Manly.
Well, Cronulla defence, as I said a couple of minutes ago, hitting very hard, and here's another case of a good, strong tackle. Some support comes in now from Davidson, and a lost ball there by Gartner, so a good attacking opportunity for the Sharks. They've stacked the blind side. They've got 4 on this side here, so they go the open.
That's the reason they have stacked the blind side, so they can go the open, get less numbers. Manly defence with plenty of space on the far side.
So from the blind, Healy works over to the left of the ground and to the open side, and he plays it in the centre of the ground, back for Eddinghausen to give off for Nickau, and Nickau gallops up towards the 20-metre line. Apparently had a good game last Saturday as Lee gets inside the 20-metre line. Danny Lee, been with the Sharks for a long time. He's one of their favourite sons. They come back and across to a wide back line, and Eddinghausen gives himself some space, then a swerve, and then a pass that I'll tell you what, if it had have found the target, they would have been in the corner.
Eddinghausen, good run there. He took on Cliffy Lyons, the veteran, 34-year-old Cliff, and he got inside Lyons, then threw the ball. Bit of a speculator, really. Steps inside Lyons, and this one looking for the winger in Rogers. Not a great pass, but oh, if he picks it, he scores in the corner maybe.
Well, I think it took half an hour for ET to touch the football last week. He was troubled by that virus, but already he's injected himself a couple of times and looked dangerous. And that's a great sign for Cronulla, as is their defence early. Matthew Ridge held up 10 out from his own line. They really are hitting well, the Cronulla forwards.
Being wrapped up by Cronulla's defence. A defence that is very intense. Lyons across for more. He'd been able to unload John Hopewati. Would have been in a corridor and nobody in front of him. This is Gartner. Centre of the ground, tackled 30 metres out from the Manly line. Hasler chooses to go off to the right. Kosef is with it. Back for Hasler. Hasler goes looking for Tuvey. He finds Lyons, who's around Green, then into a half a gap. Touched by Cronulla. 6 more tackles. Ridge is with it. And away from a tackle. Hopewati goes down the channel. Rogers comes across. He beats him. Now Denny Moore comes along, puts his hand up, but Hopewati doesn't need him. Hopewati scores for Manly.
Well, that's what Manly can do this season. Very, very dangerous. Looked like they were going to make the break, but a Cronulla hand got in the way. That gave them 6 more tackles. Tremendous work there to keep the ball alive. coming up too quickly, Paul Green. That allowed Lions on the inside. This is the pass that's knocked down, giving them 6 again. Matthew Ridge reacted very quickly. Eddinghausen misses the tackle. I thought the winger should have stayed out for Cronulla, and that tackle definitely should have been made. Hopewadi, isn't he a strong performer this season?
He's had a great year, Hopper. Rewarded with a start in the New South Wales State of Origin game for the Melbourne match. There's Rogers went in, and he knocked the ball down, the winger, and then Ridge draw and pass situation. Hopewadi from there always going to score. Too strong for Rogers, too much leg power, and gets over in the corner. Makes his 14th try for the season.
Hopewadi from Tonga came to Australia at 3 years of age. Outright third on the try-scoring list is John Hopewadi. Matthew Ridge now from the 20-metre line, where it intersects with the 10 in from touch. And Ridge has hooked this. Well, that's refreshing in many ways, that they can miss occasionally. 4 points to 0, 10 minutes gone. Manly over Cronulla. Welcome back to Friday Night Rugby League on the Nine Network across Australia, with Manly fairly much against the run of play, getting first points. It's happened again, you might say. Cronulla very intense in both departments of the game, but yet Manly was the team able to score, and they did it from off their own 20-metre line, really. Roberts brings us back now on the second chapter of play. 30 metres out, looking a little bit freer tonight than we have seen Ian Roberts all season, really. Ridge now, a dummy half, and here's Roberts again, but you can see that almost semi-limp as he runs, and then Ridge pops it down. Manly have got it 12 metres into Cronulla's territory. That was Daniel Gartner. Lyons goes back in between the markers, and they didn't stay alert. It's back with Roberts. He floats it high. Gillespie gives it off. Ridge tries to beat the defence, but Ridge is put down. The ball comes out the back, and the kick is put in on the last. Good quick thinking by Danny Moore. He goes down the ground to put Manly all onside and makes the tackle with an assist there from Owen Cunningham.
Well, they got there in the end with a kick, Manly. Some good swarming defence there by Cronulla. Forced error after error. Danny Moore, though, he's come along in leaps and bounds this season. A cool head. No, they had that ball back there and a knock on in the ruck with OJ, nearly getting a bonus for Manly.
There are a couple of players in the competition who will look to rake the ball back from marker. Ian Roberts is one of them. You've got to be very aware when he is the first marker that he might attempt that. Good fortune there, Cronulla, that the Manly second marker couldn't control the ball. Williams leads the blind side. One from Donaghy.
I thought you got it right the first time. Green won the scrum. He is the halfback. So Cronulla Sutherland now surging play back towards the halfway line. That's Greenhill. And now Danny Lee takes it ahead. No thought of anything other than top speed from Lee. Hits the line strongly. Raper using the blind side. Green looking to the gap that's not there. Manly shoulder-to-shoulder defence on the blind side. And now the Sharks again with Greenhill. Second take-up on this set of 6. 4-0, Manly in front of Cronulla. 13th minute has just gone by as Healy puts it in the air. Not a good bomb, coming back down to Cronulla Sutherland. And Sammet it was who looked to unload, but Manly harnessed the ball against him and forcing the turnover.
Tremendous defence there from Ian Roberts and Jeff Tooby, waiting for Sammet to catch the football before pouncing. Another penalty. Cronulla inside the 10. Matthew Ridge very eager to get play underway, which he does.
4-1 the penalties to Manly. And the tap to be taken by Des Hasler. Gillespie is there in combination with Danny Moore. And he almost makes the 30-metre line. A try scored by John Hopewadi as Tuvey goes across and works an angle with Owen Cunningham. Now they're in the centre of the park, exactly where they wanted to be. Lions now back for Ridge. Very involved Ridge tonight. And then an evasive run that carries him to the 10-metre line. And Ridge eventually is put down. 9 metres out from the try line. Across for Jeff Tuvey and on for Cliff Lyons. A short ball for Daniel Gardner. And Gardner is put down, no gain in ground. But Manly still dangerous. Hopewadi looks for his second try away from a tackler and put down a couple of metres out from the line. 5 tackles. Lyons the man to watch. He's got it now. Holds it up and throws the pass. Wasn't touched as they dive in for it. And Manly come up with it, but a knock-on against both sides is ordered.
And Matthew Ridge on the far side of the field really having a crack at the referee about, at the touch judge about something, not happy. It'll be a Manly feed. They're having a lot of luck, Manly, in the first 20 minutes, going right up the middle of this Cronulla ruck. Whilst the Cronulla defence very early was strong and tough, they've missed a few tackles of late. They've missed 10 in the match so far, and most of them right around the centre. Kossoff goes blind.
Kossoff working close to that touch line. And they're 7 metres out as they come across for Cunningham. Cunningham pulled down by Danny Lee and Craig Greenhill. Hasler now looks for Gillespie, trying to go straight up the middle. Manly looking for their second try. Hasler wider now for Tuvey. And Tuvey tries to beat them himself. Pulled down eventually by Danny Lee. They come across now for Kossoff. Lyons is with it. The ball goes astray and over the touchline.
It's try time then. Only a bad pass from Cliff Lyons cost Manly another 4-pointer. He had 3 men on his outside. Watch him drift across. The Cronulla offence was nowhere to be seen. There was an overlap there. Just the dusty pass has cost them a try.
Kossoff goes blind. Struggle tonight, buddy.
Sideline comment from Steve Roach.
Yeah, Nickau making the big mistake of sprinting up out of the line at Cliffy Lyons. It won't be long before he starts to put a few players in the space. Cronulla look to me like they're having trouble breaking the line. Don't forget Adam Ritson on the bench, dying to get into this game, jumping out of his skin.
Across from Samet and Eddinghausen is with it. Just inside the 30-metre line. Greenhill chimes in. These are good yards being made by Cronulla. Samet again. Adam Ritson, the young player that Steve Roach was talking about. They come across the park. Green puts the kick in. It might have been touched by Manly. Makes no difference now. Good quick thinking by Kossoff, promoting Hopewadi. And now Danny Moore. Eddinghausen across. And Danny Moore is tackled 12 metres out from the line. Cronulla in awful trouble as they get back into the line. Kossoff on, Lyons across, Tuvey with it, then it's out for Gardner, and Gardner is put down 20 metres out. Cronulla at last have got their line together as Cunningham is put away. That's the 10-metre line, 4-0. 17 minutes of the first half gone. Tuvey over for Big Roberts. Roberts is put down by the Cronulla side. Healy, the main tackler. Hasler keeps coming left. Lyons switches it back to the right. Tuvey with a short ball, and then a great tackle by Nickau. He really hammered Matthew Ridge. The last tackle for Tuvey now to give off. Lyons rolls it in. Cunningham, I think, is in front of the kicker. He's gone over the dead ball line nevertheless and comes back to the 20.
Well, Andrew Eddinghausen was the right man to be coming across in cover defence for Cronulla. Very dangerous. Great tackle from Nickau and Matthew Ridge. Battle royale on this wing as well. Hopewadi giving Matt Rogers a pretty tough time so far.
Davidson, 22 metres out from his own line. Raper it is who uses the winger, Richard Barnett, coming in off the left. Raper using Greenhill now. He's having a great deal of trouble making yards on the first few tackles.
Especially Greenhill. He's been very impressive. On leaps and bounds this season.
This man too, Danny Lee. They're to the halfway line. They've only used 4. Keep in mind they started on the 20-metre line though. And Healy it is that rolls it back down into the Manly in goal for Matthew Ridge. Eddinghausen has put on a keen chase and they bring down the New Zealand fullback. Hopewadi now out of the tackle of Eddinghausen, tries to beat Rogers. They come over the top of the Matthew Rogers tackle. They're 11 metres out from their own line, but they're equally dangerous this end of the park. Kossoff blossoming into a fine player. This is Hasler and now Roberts. Roberts is able to take it well past the 20-metre line. As this 10-metre rule starts to have its imprint on the game. Danny Lee was practically lying on the ground waiting for him to run across the top of the tackle. It was like a bear trap. And now Samet back to the halfway line, runs into Gillespie.
That's one of the reasons that we've seen such good work from Des Hasler this year from dummy half, is the ability of the likes of Ian Roberts to stand up while he's attracted 3 defenders, getting a pretty good play of the ball with them still around that area. Got to put men on the ground. Roberts just so hard to do so.
Bouted. Forced back a couple of metres from the 40-metre line. Another operating in Manly's half now. And this is Danny Lee fending and chopping his way through, but Hasler around the legs found the quickest way to bring the big man down. Green now puts the kick back into the centre. Healy is in pursuit, so is Ettinghausen. Here's a try for Rogers. It was battered down by Ettinghausen, and Matt Rogers scores for Cronulla to level it up.
Oh, great work by Ettinghausen there, who just went up like Magic Al Kareem. Who? Is he? Is he a basketball? Well, he's someone. Kareem Al-Jabbar, is it? Anyway, he's gone up like a beauty. Got up above ridge, had to force his way through, got the good run, and look at that for his skill. Remember that he'd been practicing that at training. That's a great skill.
He's a great athlete, Andrew Ettinghausen. Good work there from Paul Green, kicking back, making the ball arrive at the same time as the chasers, and that was definitely deliberate from Ettinghausen. Matt Rogers gets a try. He'll be happy with that. The battle out here with Hopewadi has been all one-way traffic. It's turned things around a little bit.
So 4 points all, and Matt Rogers has scored his 6th try of the year, and in fact his 6th career try. He will attempt conversion of his own try. Just getting back to that basketballer. Who was it?
I think it was a cross between Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson.
I thought he was a horse trainer. Did he own a Melbourne Cup winner or something?
He would have been a good basketball then. It was a cross between them.
Anyway, thank you for that offering. I thought you might have said something simple like Kazali or something. Since you're apart from the crowd, here's Rogers now from a wide angle, and he's offline, so both goal kickers missing with their only attempt. 4 points all, 21 minutes gone at Brookvale. Back at Brookvale Oval. Thank you for joining us. Friday Night Rugby League on the 9 Network, and Manly and Cronulla locked in battle here. Round 18 of the Winfield Cup. With Manly leading the premiership, Cronulla on 5th rung of the ladder. And 4 points all. Try apiece, and both goal kickers offline with their only attempt. This is Tawira Nikau. 12 metres on his side of the halfway. Aaron Raper. Of the controversy around that third test. The penalty goes to Cronulla. It's against Nick Kosef, the marker, and the tackler.
Yeah, and they're really penalties Manly can't afford to give away. You know, 3 tackles there around the 40-metre zone, Cronulla. And now look where they are with a great kick by Mitch Healy, just outside the Manly quarter.
Danny Lee, their ramrod, the one that 9 times out of 10 takes it up first. Davidson now, and the pass inside as he was heading for the touchline. That looks like Samet. Pass now for Greenhill. There's the corner post, so they're very close to the line, Cronulla. Could it be that they will score the second try? Green on the runaround with Healy. Dummies inside for Nikau. Picks up Ettinghausen. And they play it in the centre of the ground and keep coming to the right. And Green gets the pass off for Rogers, who had to stop and check himself. And the last tackle will see them go to the air. You might see Ettinghausen again go high, but it's gone too far across for him. But that was what they were looking to do. And this is Greenhill underneath that tackle. So Manly with the turnover. Craig Hancock involved for the first time tonight.
And Steve Roach, some movement on the Cronulla bench.
Yes, there is. Ritson looks like he's coming on. Johnny Lang generally tries to give him 20 minutes. He generally gets on the fringe of the ruck, tries to offload. I think Green will come on in the sec too.
Cunningham. 38 metres away from the Manly line. 4 points all. Lions probing. Tuvey is with it. Danny Lee makes the tackle. Lions then offloads for Gillespie to cross the halfway line. And Kosef is there, but Nickau is umbrellaing in. Herding Kosef back into the traffic. The last tackle for Ridge. He keeps it low. And bouncing end on end down towards that corner post. And this is Ben Samet. Going up the sideline. Menzies makes the tackle for Manly inside the 20-metre line. Now Barnett, the winger.
It's a good run from Barnett. Of course, we should mention that Steve Menzies is in the centres tonight with Terry Hill being out suspended. Oh, there's a mistake there from Aaron Ray, but cleaned up by Boughton, but will be a Manly feed.
Sunday night at 6:30, you'll see the Brisbane-Penrith match. That's at ANZ Stadium. And 6:30 in Sydney on Sunday as Adam Ritson prepares to come on.
Taken long alongside him, jersey 27, so a couple of changes as Tuvey finds lines from the scrum win. Steve Menzies in the centres, the step, so dangerous wherever he's playing.
Another tackler has come out of it very much concussed. I think it's Eddinghausen. As Hasler gets away from dummy half, and now the forwards drive in, but Ridge unloads, and now the referee calls a halt. It's not Andrew Eddinghausen. Let's make that clear straight away.
Could be the other centre.
No, it's not. No, it's not Donaghy. I think
No,
it's
not Donaghy.
Is it Samet, the fullback?
I think it's the fullback, Peter.
Or it could be Samet.
Half the team covered.
Yeah, Menzies has been a bit quiet, hasn't he? I think when you called him a couple of minutes ago, Rebs, that was the first time he'd been involved in the match all night. But maybe he might try and get a bit more involved, obviously, as the match goes on. I'm sure Fulton would like to see him get more touches of the football.
Well, he is playing on the right of the ground alongside Hancock. And he only had his first touch at about the same time as Menzies. So it's obviously been that the play has come down the other side in attack. Menzies involved in the defence over there now near the halfway line, and these players have gone, well, Long has gone on for Cronulla.
It's David Boughton, the man that's come off as Cronulla go wide now. That's Eddinghausen into position. His outside supports beat Lyons once, but he came again.
7 metres into Manly's area, played by Eddinghausen. And the Cronulla side goes across for Nathan Long, the blonde-headed number 27 for them. 5 tackles have gone, and it's Cronulla coming back for Paul Green. He puts it low, a torpedo-type kick. It bounces down towards the line. Ridge is there with the support of Hopewati. 28 is on now, that is Ritson.
As Davidson gone off for Cronulla in the front row as Hancock comes in field looking for a run. Strong defence again.
The young giant of the Cronulla pack, Adam Ritson. Kosef 10 metres away from the Manly line. 4 points all. 28th minute coming up on the clock. Cunningham. Pushing it across for Lyons to give on, and then it was knocked on by Danny Moore. Dived on by Hopewati, but Cronulla will get the feed. So a chance here for the Sharks.
Yeah, danger for the Eagles here because this is uncharacteristic mistakes being made by Manly in their own danger zone. Should have choked on that one, Danny, but the hands couldn't grasp it. Daniel Gartner being replaced by Solomon Hamono. He's had a good game, Gartner, in the first 27 minutes, 28 minutes.
Cronulla will come out of this with 6 tackles inside the Manly 20-metre line, thereabouts. Eddinghausen, Green on the run round. That's made the extra man. Samet in from the back, and Tuvey is there, got the pass away to try. Scored by Barnett, the winger. He puts the index finger up as if to say, thank you, that's one I owe you. 29 minutes gone, the Sharks lead Manly, 8 points to 4.
And we saw Manly put a great set play on from a similar position last weekend against Newcastle. This is another very interesting set play. There's a decoy there by Donaghy. Green, nice ball. Now this is where the missed tackle, this has cost Manly the missed tackle by Menzies. That really put them under pressure. Hancock came in on Samet, and a nice try in the corner. All through that mistake made by Manly.
Didn't Ben Samet do very well in this one? Green doubling around. Jeff Tuvey had done a magnificent job to get over from the scrum to make this tackle after the Menzies miss, but Samet somehow able to get his arms free and position his winger. As Paul pointed out, a very good set move from the scrum, and all you're looking for in one of those moves is a missed tackle. Menzies provided that.
Richard Barnett, the try scorer. Great lead-up work. Was engineered by Green with the help of Eddinghausen. Samet played a major part. Richard Barnett put the capping on it.
And come back to that mistake made in their own quarter by the Eagles. They normally don't make mistakes down in that area. They're a side who will throw the ball around, look for opportunities to run the full length of the field. On this occasion, it's cost them 4 points, possibly 6.
They can't stop doing that either, can they, Paul? Because if Danny Moore catches that ball, he draws a winger and Hopewadi's away.
The 20-metre line, kicking into the new grandstand corner. Matt Rogers looks lovely. Beautiful kick. Dissecting the uprights. And Cronulla leading Manly after half an hour, 10 points to 4. Winfield Cup of 1995, the last Winfield Cup. As Manly get us going once more, and we welcome you back to Brookvale Oval here in Sydney on the peninsula, the home of the Sea Eagles, the competition leaders. They're behind 10-4. Half an hour of the game gone, and Cronulla Sutherland looking good as Aaron Raper gets out from dummy half and reaches the halfway line. And they keep it going with quick play, the balls and the quick little men. They capitalise. Paul Green is tackled on the 30-metre line. Now across on the blind is Healy. Eddinghausen's looking for the kick. He got the kick but was taken out. The referee said play on. Ridge is with it.
Well, play doesn't get much better than that in 5 tackles. Some barnstorming runs started by Ritson as Hopewadi beats 2 tackles again. A quick play the ball from Aaron Raper, who read the markers were a little bit slow in getting there. Paul Green, a great dash. Good game of footy, this one.
Well, they really have never let us down, Peter. I mentioned earlier the grand finals, 73 and 78. 10-7 in 73, and they had to go back twice to work it out in 78. And here's
unbelievable mistake. Ian Roberts going through as a decoy, tried to duck under the tackle. The pass was still thrown. 6 again to the Sharks. Adam Ritson off a standing start is easier prey.
Just beyond the 20-metre line, the Sharks, many of us got a shock when they were the second, or over for the second try. And in fact snatching the outright lead. Can they score again? This is the other centre that we referred to earlier, Paul Donaghy. He's had a great season, Paul, and here's Nickau trying to beat them. He beat Roberts, got it off to Raper. Raper on to Ritson. Ritson tries to position his winger. Barnett stands, it goes back for Ritson. Ritson's inside the 10-metre line. And Cronulla really doing a Manly on Manly at the moment. Across from Raper into the hands of Green. Green, he slithers through, got a pass away. Nickau couldn't get a hand to it. Romano will play it for Manly.
Oh, great play by the Sharks. Try went begging there. Green is having a fantastic game. Big right foot step, gets into a gap, and that's that last pass. I don't even think he meant to throw the pass. Just ball security wasn't there, and now a penalty for the Eagles.
Didn't Manly need it? They take the quick tap. Matthew Ridge sees that there's some space on the far side. They created the overlap with Menzies.
Greenhill covered a lot of ground to number 11.
What a good tackle by Greenhill.
Now Manly, 40 out from their own line. Into the hands of Tuvey and across for Ridge. And Ridge has got Moore. Snatching at the ball again, Danny Moore. And Cronulla come up with the football. Hopewadi could get penalised here. Referee had his back turned. I thought he might have penalised Hopewadi for not allowing Matt Rogers up to play it. Long. Good run. He doesn't look to be that big, but he certainly uses what there is off him to great effect. And this is Ritson. And a pass inside for Healy.
Daniel Gartner back out there. Ian Roberts has left the field as Manly under attack.
Cross now for Danny Lee. He puts the hip into Tuvey's tackle, but the little bloke is driving him crazy. He's around the ankles. This is Aaron Raper on the blind side, away from a tackle. Eventually it's secured by Gillespie. Barnett passes for Healy. It goes on for Andrew Eddinghausen. Now for Paul Green and Tawira Nikau, the referee though.
Is that a knock
Ruled forward or knock on?
I think Lyons went for the intercept again.
He did. It'll be a ruling of a knock-on against the Eagles. There was a gap there for Nikau to run into. Look at Cliffy going for the intercept, knocking the ball down. So there'll be more pressure for Manly as we've got a blood bin.
Yes, it's Donaghy coming off.
Donaghy.
Cut around the knee. And it's 17.
Just inside the 20-metre line, Cronulla comes up with another 6 tackles.
So that means Adam Batoli on for the Sharks.
Nikau delivers on the right, the blind for Green, and he gave a flick pass, and Greenhill went to sleep on it. So they give it back to Manly on the second tackle. Ridge.
It's Alan Bateman in 17, the English import on for Cronulla.
Kosef. The Welsh audience won't be happy with that. Alan Bateman. We have got at least 2 Welsh people that I know that watch the program.
Plays for the Warrington club over there.
Now it's Gillespie. 38 metres out from Manly's line. Well, if you've just joined us, you've joined us with the news that Manly are down 10-4 to Cronulla Sutherland near the halfway line. Played by Gartner, given by Hasler. In back play is that Lyons that's having trouble. Ball goes loose and Gillespie had to put his body on the line. The turnover is with us though.
Well, this Cronulla defence is really forcing a lot of mistakes in the Manly team. I mean, not getting rid of the ball on the 5th tackle, they've done it there. And Ritson now carving them up the middle.
See the size of the man, is it any wonder? Oh, a high tackle on Nathan Long.
Uh-oh.
So,
Trouble.
It is Owen Cunningham, I believe.
He's gone.
And he's been sent off. It is Owen Cunningham who's been given his marching orders for a high tackle on Nathan Long. No hesitation from referee Kelvin Jeffs. This is the send-off.
Clumsy tackle there by Owen Cunningham. Normally the safest of defenders. The arm right up around the head of Nathan Long. They're now a player short, a chance for Cronulla to extend their lead with this penalty attempt. 32 out, right in front.
So this is going to really test the resilience of Manly. On their mind at the moment is this 10-4 deficit, and now the thought of only 12 men. One out of 2 for Matt Rogers. Terry Hill, of course, already in the grandstands. 6 matches. The kick by Rogers is just wide, and Ridge Alert Matthew Ridge there to catch it and bring it back. Menzies. Cronulla will lift now in defence. That's basically been their plan. To lift in defence and keep Manly in their own territory and work for the mistake. Nothing new about that, but Cronulla is doing it very effectively, and the tackles are driving and hurting. Haslam long underneath, and Lee over the top. No markers. They don't use that. Lyons uses Tuvi. He opens them up and crosses the 40-metre line, but the pass goes sadly astray. Hancock dives on it.
They've got a six more call there.
Mono's pass goes over for Lyons. He gets rid of Long, and then he gives it to Healy. Back for Eddinghausen. Now for Rogers. Rogers goes away from the sideline to be tackled 15 out. Eddinghausen a dummy half, realising that Manly have only got 12. They go across the park. Ritson in the centre, and Ritson looking to unload to Samet. Cronulla Sutherland come back now to the blind side, looking for Rogers, and Rogers is well marked by Hopewadi and taken over the sideline.
Well, they went the wrong way. If they'd have gone the other side, an enormous opportunity for Cronulla if they'd have gone to the left-hand side. We read it poorly there. We're into the final minute of the first half. And the previous play with Ritson hitting the ball up had taken away a lot of defenders on the far side of the ruck. They were skinny. Ended up going back to Manly's strength.
Tuvi away from the scrum base. Half-time siren sounding in the background. Hancock tackled by Barnett, offering it down for Danny Moore. And there's the referee acknowledging that the ball has gone dead in the tackle. So half-time is with us, and a great first half for Cronulla. 10 points to 4. Manly will complete the game with 12 men. Owen Cunningham sent off. Welcome back as Cronulla Sutherland get us started for the second half. They take this lead of 10-4 into that second stanza, and Manly repeating it down to 12 men with Owen Cunningham sent off by referee Kelvin Jeffs late in the first half. Mono makes a dent in the Cronulla line early on, first set of 6. With Manly having first use of the football in the second half. Gillespie bringing it raw from the crowd. They thought that Nick Howe's tackle was high. The referee indicated shoulders. And this is Kosef now. Manly, undoubtedly a very good side. And it's not beyond them to come from this deficit, both on the scoreboard and in numbers, and defeat Cronulla. But Cronulla's form in the first half was quite good.
I do think their chances were enhanced by stopping Cronulla from scoring in that last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half. The fact that Rogers missed the kick from in front, 32 out from the Cunningham dismissal. Cronulla going very close to scoring a try on a number of occasions. That has left Manly within a converted try. Could be very important.
Ritson was strong in the latter part of that first half when he was brought on by John Lang, together with Nathan Long. The coach, I should say, John Lang, will be hoping that they keep up that effort in the second half, particularly from Ritson. As Healy keeps it low, Eddinghausen is on the chase. Ridge is back there to bring it back. We'll take our half-time comment from the sidelines and Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Bobby Fulton obviously wasn't very happy with Manly's ball control. He thinks they've made enough breaks to score at least another 3 or 4 tries. That's why they're behind on the scoreboard. He said, look, be aware of Green and the dummy half runners and big Adam Ritson on the fringe of the ruck. He said, just keep attacking down that Rogers' side. And he said there's too many one-on-one missed tackles. Well, for Cronulla, you can obviously think that Johnny Lang is pretty happy. He talked about the defence. He said when you play against a side like Manly, they can come back at you in the last minute. You've got to be on your game for the full 80 minutes. And they've just got to have a little bit more support when they're running with the football.
Kosef unloading from Menzies. The first base that he's seen out in the centres. Good run, a good bumping run by Menzies. 31 metres out from the Cronulla line. Last tackle is with us. They've gone over to the Lions. Lions across for Tuvi. Ridge is outside him. Ridge is with it now. Is that Moore out there? It is. And Danny Moore is able to get a pass away. Makawari, the kick ahead. Kosef is on the chase. And this is Samet for Cronulla.
Yeah, that was better from the Eagles. The supporters have gone up. Great run by Steve Menzies. You know, Davidson thought at half-time I'd almost be tempted because Menzies only touched the ball twice in the first half. To put him back into the back row and bring Jack Elsgood, of course, from reserve grade, maybe into the centres or on the wing. He's got to see more ball, and that's just what he can do.
There's Nathan Long. Now Nickau. Hard to tell. Now Nickau on his back decided to put a hand in the face of Gillespie, who retaliates.
I think that's a little bit of a get square from the big hit Nickau put on David Gillespie a couple of moments ago. Matthew Ridge coming in having a chat with Nickau. Nickau cleaned him up in the first half as well. A very strong hit from Gillespie. It was no surprise to see his number be involved in it. Bang. Drives him, puts him down. And just a little slap from Nickau. A couple of punches from Gillespie.
Just wondering if the touch judges have seen the first incident. And if they have, that should be a Manly penalty.
Well, I don't think that. I think it was just a little slap push kind of thing from Nickau. I think it's got to go against Gillespie myself.
Well, what did Gillespie do though to deserve the penalty?
That was through the first punch.
Cronulla Sutherland take the penalty. The tap to follow, 38 metres out from the Manly line. Danny Lee again takes it ahead, and Gillespie fired up with Solomon Hamano. Cronulla go back on the blind side. This is Greenhill. That's the 20-metre line, just up in front of them. Adam Ritson stampeding across them. Proving hard to pull down. They're 12 metres out. They cut out Long, go through Green, on for Healy, and then Ettinghausen. Tuvi's underneath him. Ettinghausen will play it 9 metres away from the line. Mitch Healy a dummy half. Paul Green. Now Nathan Long. He goes for the gap. And that is effectively closed by Hamano and Hasler. 5 gone for Cronulla. It's towed along the ground and red by Nick Kosef.
Well, that's great defence from Manly. Oh, Nathan Long hit Matthew Ridge, who's been doubled back. He was held down low by Aaron Raper. Well, here's a knock on.
Now you'll find that Ridge knocked on as he got up to play the ball. The referee got a call from the touch judge. We'll go back to where Ridge played the ball.
Well, this is a great shot here from Nathan Long, just a body check. Even this early in the game, despite the fact they're a player up, there's the knock on there, I'd be tempted to kick a field goal if I was Cronulla, just to break the spirit of Manly a touch.
The scrum 10 metres away from the uprights. Centre of the ground. The lock forward takes it from the base of the scrum. Green's able to get it back for Nickau. Across now for Ritson. Ritson looking for support. Held by the Manly defence of Hasler. Now from Raper, across for Healy. Then he dummies to Ettinghausen and uses Donaghy. 5 metres out, they go from dummy half. Healy! He's over, but is he held up? I think he's going to give it. He has. It's a try for Mitch Healy, and Ridge is blowing up.
Thought them napping a little bit, Mitch Healy on the blind side, but they thought that there were enough Manly players who regrouped to hold him up. Danny Moore was there. Matthew Ridge can't believe that the try has been awarded. Very quick out of dummy half. Hamano was still on the ground. A lot of Manly players involved. Hopewadi, this should show it up much more clearly.
Good surge there by Healy. The in-goal judge is right in line. Outside right there, he got the football down, so Cronulla, they caught the markers, just weren't awake. The great play the ball.
Ridge, after all of this, was called out together with the captain, Jeff Tuvey. That meeting with the referee has now ended. Ridge was very irate, but looking at the replay, there's no doubt it was a try scored by Mitch Healy. Homono comes off for Manly. And Cronulla lead by 14-4. 3 tries to 1. Matt Rogers, 10 metres in on the 20-metre line with 1 from 3. That opportunity for Cronulla was made possible by 2 factors. Penalty off David Gillespie and the knock-on by Matthew Ridge, and Rogers converts. Well, that rubs a bit of salt into the wound. It's 16-4, Cronulla over Manly. Back Brookvale Oval and the home side and the premiership leaders Manly in all sorts of trouble. They're playing with 12 men against a very determined Sharks outfit whose record coming into the game looked outstanding. Canberra, Brisbane, North Sydney, they all fell to Cronulla Sutherland. That pass was forward from Ritson. Been allowed to go, and Nickau will play it. And now Cronulla Sutherland have got the hot favourites Manly in a bit of trouble. Maybe a lot of trouble. 16-4. Just off at Sterling threes Manly. He knocked it back. That's how much trouble they're in.
Well, the Roosters had them down 19-4 at this very ground 2 weeks ago, and they came back to just get beaten in the end 21-16.
Well, they had 13 players that game too, Paul.
The scrum packing. 15 metres out from the Manly line. Far side of the ground. 50th minute of the game coming up. 16-4. Cronulla in front. Lions holds it back for John Hopewadi, and then look at the elusiveness of John Hopewadi. He almost ran through the entire team. Brings a big round of applause from the crowd. Now with Lions, Moore's inside, empties into a gap. Moore's inside the 30-metre line and tackled 20 metres out by Danny Lee of all people. On the blindside Ridge, back in now for the dummy half. This is Kosev, back now for Haslap. Raper couldn't take him. Tuvi's got the ball. He's away from Nickau. Then he's tackled by Raper. 15 out from the Cronulla line. Manly now coming back. Lions away from a shoulder charge. Flops it over for Haslap. Beats one. Runs away from Raper. Goes for the line. And it's Desi Hasler tackled. A metre out. A chance for Manly. Lions has put down. That was a great tackle. Was he inside the play the ball margin though? It's with Roberts and now with Ridge. Ridge gets his arms free. Roberts kicks it. It's in the in goal for the clean-up work. And Cronulla Sutherland are tackled in goal.
Well, they might need 13 Manly. What a great passage of play there. Gillespie down hurt. Hope it's not too serious. Looks fairly concerned.
In this passage of play, there was at least 3 or 4 try-saving tackles made by the Cronulla Sharks. Their defence tonight has been great. In the end, Roberts gets the football, and that's not a bad kick for the big fellow. Gillespie's collected something there. The arm went straight up.
Just hope that it's not a cracked jaw straight away. He's not the sort of player that reacts that quickly unless he knows something fairly serious has occurred. Tremendous work from Danny Lee. Blood bin being called here by the referee. Nathan Long did a good job to get Hopewadi on the far side, and then Mitch Healy's tackle on Cliff Lyons saved a certain try. This is a sorry sight.
They've called for the stretcher for Dave Gillespie.
Plenty of people at the ground here wondering whether Mitch Healy was onside when he made the try-saving tackle. This is how it all started. Hopewadi beats 1. There's 2 gone, 3. And finally, Nathan Long, after 5 have been beaten, comes up with the tackle from the scrum.
Beautiful inside ball here, wasn't it, from Cliffy to Danny Moore. From here, it looked like he had support on the outside, just couldn't get to them. Went the other way, and look at the tackle by Danny Lee, the big prop forward in cover.
I fancy it's this next pass to Cliffy Lyons that finds the Cronulla player. Question mark on him. The concern, though, is over David Gillespie.
Well, the Mitch Healy tackle was a try saver.
Just trying to pick up that Mitch Healy tackle on another machine. I'm not going into explaining the technical side of it. I'd get horribly lost.
Because you don't know anything about it, do you?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll take a break with David Gillespie about to be stretchered off at Brookvale, repeating the score 16-4, Cronulla over Manly. Well, back at Brookvale Oval, it's not a good moment here for Manly fans, more importantly not for David Gillespie. The veteran Test front rower taken from the ground on a stretcher, and Steve Roach will find out officially what it is. It does look to me like a broken jaw, but it mars an incredibly fine season for David Gillespie. Manly on the attack. They're 30 metres away from the line. Hasler across now for Moore. 25 metres out from the Cronulla line. We'll get a chance to have a look at the Gillespie incident in a moment as Manly go through the attack again. And it's with Lyons on the oh, Ridge has been pulled down. He's indicated.
The jersey.
The jersey.
He won't be leaving the field, but he'll be penalised for going high.
Yeah, Cliffy Lyons put the arm up. He wanted him sent off straight away. But it is a grab around the neck. Doesn't deserve a send-off, got to be honest there. But a penalty to Manly all the same. Got to score shortly.
So Manly with the tap, and Roberts 15 metres away from the Cronulla line. Manly in arrears, 16-4, Tuvey, and now Kosef. Pomono. Hasler, Tuvey, Lyons, danger, a dummy, and then to the outside for Menzies. Hancock from a standing start is tackled 10 metres away from the line. Manly through Ridge on for Lyons. They cut out Tuvey and go to Roberts, then Tuvey, and then quick hands back for Danny Moore.
That's just unbelievable defence. They're attacking when they haven't got the football, Cronulla. This is the last.
Sydney Lyons goes back to the air. And a kick that goes out on the full. The turnover will be on just outside the 20-metre line. Steve Roach on the sidelines. What have you been able to find out about David Gillespie's injury?
Cement's got a bad cut under the chin, but they're not really worried about that. They're worried about a suspected broken jaw.
And here is the incident on replay.
Well, he's copped the, looks like the fist of Daniel Gardner.
That's incredible, isn't it?
This is Greenhill. Waper out from dummy half. 3 tries to 1, 16-4. About 15 minutes of the second half gone. Green unloading for Donaghy to go into an open space, and then the support is coming as he swivels from another tackle. That'll be in Roberts. And now on the 5th tackle, they're playing it inside the 20-metre line. The Sharks, they're in a big queue. They all want to get involved. Nicow, over it goes the pass. Wide out, lost it back in. Healy put away by Lyons, and the ball comes down for Desi Hasler.
Aren't they playing with so much confidence? As individuals, each of these Cronulla players really wants to do something tonight. So much confidence there. Donaghy bursting through 3 or 4 feeble attempts by the Eagles.
Menzies. Crowd waiting for Steve Menzies to get some space. He's only had one fleeting opportunity. Tuvey now put away. 7 metres out from his own line. Ball goes recklessly along the ground. Homono finishes up with it.
Steve Menzies in trouble. The right-hand wing. Hancock now moves outside him, but he's limping. Anything that could possibly go wrong for Manly, it's happening.
Peter put it in a nutshell earlier when he said Cronulla were attacking when in defence. Such has been the spirit of their tackling. Ridge kicks very close to the sideline and he finds the touchline. So it'll be a scrum just outside the Cronulla 20-metre line. Watch this. Little or nothing to work in. He's favoured by the bounce. Then I guess good players are. What's the updated news on David Gillespie now, Steve?
Yeah, they've cleared him of a broken jaw, just a bad gash underneath the chin.
Probably the best news we're going to hear all day long, because, as I said, the big fella has had a tremendous season. Tremendous season. Origin and Test football. Probably he thought that was Test football, wasn't it? He thought that was a light of other days for him. The fears here around the ground were that Manly might have lost him for their grand final aspirations. Ettinghausen started the match like a bonfire. Now it's time for him to reignite, if I can put it that way. Ritson near the touchline on the grandstand side. They go over for Danny Lee. Lee, one of the more unfashionables, I suppose, as Raper comes out from dummy half and the fullback Samet snatches at it. Manly come down with it. But Danny Lee, his work rate is undeniable. I think he was the club keno tackler of the year. Was it last year or the year before? But today he has been very conspicuous by his attack. Roberts, handoff out the back, it goes astray. The touch judge calls it. The referee orders a forward pass. The rules that the ball went forward in the pass.
He's just looking to force it a little bit out there, Ian Roberts. Johnny Moore could have taken it. It was 2-on-1 against Matt Rogers. I've got no doubt the field goal is the option to take here if they haven't scored in 4-5.
Ettinghausen now with his numbers outnumbered. Donaghy, the other centre, a run from dummy half, and this can easily be the pattern of play for Cronulla. They know that they've got this match almost won. Simple football will get them home. Green, Healy, and Ritson. Ritson has left a mark on this game. They'll think long and hard, I would imagine, before starting him on the bench next week. As Green is a step away from Hasler. He's a very hard man to tackle anywhere other than above the shoulders, Paul Green. Ettinghausen figuring. They go for the drop goal. The referee's in line with it, but he's ruled no goal.
And Andrew Ettinghausen got in the way of Mitch Healy. Healy wanted it first pass from the dummy half. Ettinghausen went through, ended up getting the football. That just took the time and made it a much tougher kick because the defence had come through.
Here's Danny Moore now with his shoulder very much behind the wheel. Inside the 30-metre line. They come on the blind side for Kossev to draw. But Cronulla not being fooled in any shape or form. Gardner it was, and now it's Tuvey. And Tuvey goes through the gap. Nick Hours there to close that gap together with Danny Lee. They go to the left and Roberts works up the centre. There's the halfway line, the fourth tackle, 16-4, 1 hour of the game gone. Kossev back in. Hasler tries to make ground. He does that. And the pass goes over for Hotorate. And John gets the pass inside, but the touches flag has gone up.
Yeah, more mistakes made by Manly running into touch there. Shannon Nevin coming onto the football field, the reserve grade fullback, as Hasler makes half a bust. He finds Hopper out wide. Rogers harassed him, and finally, some good defence over the top by ET. Ian Roberts leaving the field. Nevin, a fullback, has gone on, so there'll be some adjustment. Possibly Stephen Menzies is it going into the pack.
A change for Cronulla as well, with Nathan Long going off on the far side of the field. David Boughton coming back on. Both coaches get a couple of fresh troops out there as Green feeds the scrum. 29 out from his own line.
Incidentally, you people that take your footy tab week in and week out particularly pick the margins. The close of betting was 7:30 tonight. And 510,000 is the pool. And pick the margins. And I would think if Cronulla wins this match, even if they win it, never mind by what margin, it's going to put plenty of players out on opening night.
So if you take Manly plus 13, you think we're in trouble? Or?
I would say so, as Ritson gets a pass off. Samet is in from fullback, taken by the opposite number. Cronulla again on a good roll. They're able to play the ball quickly and keep it going. Danny Lee pushes on. Eddinghausen gets it out. Green back inside. Eddinghausen fleck passes. Boughton pulled down 9 metres out. The ball came loose.
Well, I'll tell you what, in anyone's language, that is brilliant rugby league. The inside balls, Manly getting tired in defence now. And look at these inside passes, and every time there's one thrown, there's a gap there for someone to run to. Sensational ball from ET.
What a shame Boughton didn't control it. It wasn't a fitting end to such a great movement.
But every time they're getting to the defensive line and turning, looking for support, there is someone there in this Cronulla team.
Looking to push Manly off that ball in the scrum, and here's a penalty going to Manly. Holding the player. It's against Greenhill, Craig Greenhill, the second rower. And while Manly have had their problems tonight, and they've probably made more mistakes in this match than they would in 3 matches, they've had Owen Cunningham sent off. On the positive side for Cronulla, this has been an outstanding performance.
I said it before, Ray, but I've never seen more players driven back in tackles than what I've seen Cronulla do tonight.
We were talking for so many weeks about the hard run that Cronulla had into the semi-finals. Many of us thought they would miss out on the top 8. But they've taken Canberra, they've taken Brisbane, North Sydney, and it looks apparent that they're going to take Manly with them. Lions in and away for Menzies to link up, and then it's Hopewate. Smothered in the defence there of Samet and Barnett. The last tackle for Manly, and Ridge goes on. Lyons is with it. He gives a long pass. Little question mark on it. Nevin goes down the sideline, and he puts it on the ground, and Cronulla come away with it through Matt Rogers. Game played at, I was about to say a furious pace, but it's had, I suppose, some fairly lengthy stoppages, which has aided and abetted the players stamina-wise, but it has been quick exchange. And the ball put down by Davidson. That's a fair ball, and Tuvey will be allowed to play it.
Adam Ritson has been taken off. Les Davidson back out now as Manly go wide. Rushing up Nicow on lines. He's still got one arm free. And they arrive in more numbers, led by Lee.
Cronulla's a mile inside the 10, and that's why the crowd are groaning. As Menzies is put away now, 41 metres out from the Cronulla line. Referee Jeffs was very strict on the 10 metres early on Cronulla. He might have gone to sleep a little bit on it late in the game as Gartner links up with Moore. And they try to put Nevin into the attack. Rogers flies down the sideline. He's grasped over there, 9 metres from the halfway. And Tuvey is struggling to get to his feet at the moment.
And Andrew Eddinghausen has made some telling tackles on the far side of the field in the last couple of minutes, forcing the mistake to see Cronulla come back up with the football as Davidson is driven back in a very strong tackle front on by Hamono.
Danny Lee. Just have a look at his personal performance. 28 tackles and 13 hit-ups. The big prop forward. Now they're with Donaghy on the left of the ground. Barnett goes into acting half. The last tackle, we're looking for Raper, and then for Healy. They're going to set forward again. No, he's gone for the bomb. It's a high kick, beautifully positioned. The bounce, it's been battered down by Shannon Nevin, and it's a line drop out.
Well, plenty of trouble there once again for the Eagles. Matthew Ridge had dead set no idea where that was. Beautiful kick by Healy. And there it was. And luckily for Manly, Nevin was Johnny on the spot. Plenty of Cronulla people there too as well.
For sure he was going for the drop goal. Mitch Healy turned what I thought was a drop kick into a punt kick that really gave Matthew Ridge a headache. Shannon Nevin helped his more senior member out in no uncertain terms as Big Davo comes back at them again. And they're well off for depth when you can bring Davidson in off the bench or use him and Ritson on an exchange basis. Ritson left his mark on the game. And now it's up to Davidson to carry it on. This bloke Greenhill has been consistently good for Cronulla. Ansett Australia, I should say, give us the man of the match of a Friday night, $1,000 for the player of the match from Ansett on Friday night. Green across now. Healy playing confidently. Eddinghausen in, but Hopewadi read the play. 8 metres away from the line. And Donaghy is the dummy half. He goes himself, Donaghy. He's very strong, but he couldn't get it down. Scrum will form. Cronulla will have the feed.
Donaghy saw a little chance there for himself and went for it. Beat a couple of tackles.
Oh, wow. Nice. Nick Kosef there trying to turn Donaghy on his back.
So Green now trying to get away from desperate tackles. Only centimetres out from the line. It's over with David Bowden. He sets himself for the line, looks at it, gets it away. Healy goes for it, and Mitch Healy is short. Hard to believe, but he's short of the line. Now, away it goes for Green to give on, and Barnett has come off the left wing. He operates on the right of the ground. Barnett to play it. Salmon up from fullback. Paul Green. Mitch Healy. Long pass for Nick Howe. He tries to stand Flippy Lyons up. Pulled down 9 metres out from the line. Cronulla Sutherland 16 points to 4. This is Davidson. Driving defence by Kosef. Aaron Raper, his pass knocked down by Healy. And it's going to be a turnover for Manly.
Silly play by Cronulla there, but what about the defence from Manly? Players over the line. We just saw why they're on top of the competition with that kind of defence under great adversity. Cronulla lost the plot there late in the tackle count. 1 point will still win this game for them.
Reserve grade tonight, incidentally, 18-16. It was a cliffhanger of a finish. Cronulla winning 18-16, and they are top of the table, Cronulla. This is Kosef handing the ball down. Gartner getting it off for Tuvey, and Tuvey then away. Danny Moore back for him. They're down on the Cronulla 30-metre line. Only 12 men for the entire second half. Cunningham sent off. Lyons, and now Hopewadi. Hopewadi playing in the centres. Lyons, a kick back over his head, and then Menzies been tackled without the ball. Well, I would have thought that's a dead set penalty, and the touch judge, it looks like he agrees.
Well, the referee's missed it, Kelvin Jeffs, but Menzies kicked the football, then was held out of it. So this must be an Eagles penalty.
Matthew Ridge receiving attention in back play as well, was hurt as he took off from dummy half on the last tackle there. Daniel Gartner sent to the blood bin. Donaghy being spoken to and about to be penalised.
Well, that's a fair penalty. So the test judges tonight have been fairly much on the ball. So many of the men in the centre, they just get no help at all. These touches tonight have been pretty good for Jeffs. Whether he's had a good game or not remains, I suppose, for the assessment of all and sundry. Tuvey. Centre of the ground, the Eagles. Lions. This is Menzies. Steve now playing in the forwards. Run on side in the centres. Lions. And here's a chance for Kossev. Kossev, he's over. Puts it down. Manly gets their second try. 16-8. 10 minutes to go.
And again, it was a short ball from Cliff Lyons. He wants players to rush up, as Cronulla have done tonight so effectively. But this time the gap was created. As he catches a ball, he frees it there. This player caught out by Cronulla. There's Kosef coming up the middle, a nice gap. All the Cronulla players have come up quickly, but the gap had been opened up. He juggled the ball, Kosef, and then he showed good strength to carry Samet over. But what about the fighting qualities of this Manly Warringah side?
That's one of the reasons they're on top of the comp, not only because they're great football side as Rich converts.
16-10 now.
They will not lay down this Eagles team. These young kids like Gossett, Daniel Gartner, Steve Menzies, they're under so much pressure tonight, and they're really coming good. Beautiful ball held up there.
Yeah, Mitch Healy was the man who ended up in no man's land, and he's been so good for Cronulla tonight, marshalling their defences. And the crowd going to lift this Manly side even further.
18,000 of them, Peter. It's a fine crowd. 18,045, and Bob Fulton wrote about his crowd in the papers today. They have become one of the very unforgettable crowds for visiting players. This is John Hopewate, 35 metres out from the Manly line. The drop goal becomes even more important for Cronulla now. Roberts. Kosef. Surely he will scale the highest of heights in rugby league. Lions purposefully trying to wedge Cronulla and get 6 more. Samet is back.
That is a very big play from Ben Samet. Good kick from Lyons, forced the fullback to field it as Barnett gets out of dummy half.
Nickau comes off as a big run is put down by Les Davidson. Out to the 20. This would be their 4th. That is Raper. That's the end of the 4th tackle, and now David Boughton. 40-metre line, the last. Healy. He's got to dictate, he's got to conduct the orchestra for them, and he doesn't. So this will slow it down. A smile comes on his face.
He didn't quite get it exactly how he wanted it, but it's a pretty good result in the end. By having the scrum set, means that Cronulla can set their defence against this Manly team. Manly, like the Canberras and the Brisbanes, you don't want to take them on in broken field play.
Sunday night, Brisbane and Penrith from ANZ Stadium is the television match. Manly winning the scrum. Lions using Danny Moore. Next weekend, Friday night football, Western Brisbane. Sunday night of next weekend, Cronulla and Illawarra. Hopewate scored the first try of the game. Crowd really trying to lift Manly.
Good refereeing there too. Hopewate trying to milk a penalty. It didn't come his way. The referee telling him to get to his feet and play it. As Menzies pops one out the back to Lyons.
Roberts. Cronulla. Very seldom have you seen a one-on-one situation in defence. There's always 2 and 3 surging in. And Manly know now that Cronulla is not to be lightly dismissed in any semi-final discussions. Kosef, outstanding for Manly. Menzies unloading. Humano on the back foot. And Humano tackled on 5. So Manly again losing territory, even when with the football. Tuvey pushes it along. Ridge gets the kick in. It comes to the fullback favourably. Samet goes back, and Ridge is there to make the tackle. Good individual effort by Matthew Ridge. As Barnett comes off his wing, and he's done this a lot tonight. Now they're 5 metres into Manly's area. Cronulla will probably push it down the ground if they can and take a shot at drop goal. 16 to 10 and just outside 5 to go. Danny Lee set himself to run through the wall. Will they go for it now?
No, Healy wants him to go left. He's going to take it on the last.
So Greenhill takes one more, and this is the last. The markers will have to work for Manly. Here it goes. Healy gets the shot in. The arm will go up. It's a goal, and that's the ball game. Cronulla by 17 to 10.
Yeah, great work there by Mitch Healy. They set it up so well. The big run by Danny Lee, a 25-metre run it was, and that's the end result.
Well, he must have impressed Sterlo and Fatty, I would imagine. Danny Lee, he has had an enormous game.
He had an enormous game last week as well, Ray, against North Sydney. The forwards of this Cronulla side, they are what make them a definite premiership chance this year, because they hit hard, they go forward well. What about this performance from Manly tonight as well? You can't fail to be impressed by the guts and determination they've shown.
Cronulla comes up with the ball as it's battered down, and I think Ian Roberts, just double-checking, I thought for a moment he'd done a damage as he went through to knock the ball down. But Cronulla now, another one of the beachside rugby league clubs coming home on a wave. Been a great clash, this one. Davidson, 17 to 10, 3 tries to 2. Ritson is back on for another taste of it. John Lang and his players, they'll really savour this one. Healy on 5, and he puts it out on the full. Turnover for Manly on their own 20-metre line. And will that drop goal be the difference in the final wash-up? I doubt it. With that mistake, Cronulla immediately back on the attack. Tired work by John Hopewadi. Lions knocks it down. And the ball comes out and the penalty goes to Manly.
Paul Green just throwing a pass here. I don't think Lions did get a hand to it. They get a penalty, so going to Cronulla's half from the first play through Solomon Himono. Time running out.
9-4 the penalty count in favour of Manly. Just in case you've joined us late, they're playing with 12 men, have been or will have been for nearly 45 minutes, with Owen Cunningham sent off by Kelvin Jeffs for a high tackle on Nathan Long. I don't think there's any doubt that it was a dangerous tackle. I have seen players remain on the ground, though, for similar offences. But if Terry Hill had to be sent off last Friday night, then Owen Cunningham so too tonight. A look of despair on the face of the young Manly captain.
He had every right to have that look as well. Dave Boughton's hand forced that ball out. Should have been a penalty. Difficult ones to pick up for referees. That's where the touch judges become even more important. Cronulla now just winding down the clock. Adam Ritson hasn't he had an impact off the bench and continues. That pass is going astray. Finally, Craig Hancock plucks it out of the air.
Touching the football for Craig Hancock, only his third in the game. Hopewadi takes it down just outside the 30-metre line. Eddinghausen across and cover. Hopewadi pushing him away. And then Lyons gives it on for Hamano out wide, and then back inside for Ridge. There's a gap. And Ridge tries to go through, but Cronulla again close it. They close down opportunities. Lyons lofts a pass over for Shannon Nevin. The ball now goes in touch in goal. So it'll come back to the centre of the 20-metre line. Cronulla will be in no hurry to restart it.
Well, this has been a great win and the end of a great month for Cronulla, the month of July 1995. 4 great scalps for the Sharks. That'll wrap up a top 8 spot for them. Some great football. Johnny Lang must be quite proud of them. On the other hand, the Eagles have been defeated. The first half cost them. They played so ordinary, but they showed plenty of pride and guts and determination in the second half, let me tell you.
You'll notice that we are in extra time. That, of course, brought about by the injury to David Gillespie. But the news on David is pretty good. As reported by Steve Roach, the full-time siren, and the fans that have come from Cronulla Sutherland rejoice. 17-10. Paul basically has said it all. The Sharks tonight, they were great. Manly were courageous. 17-10 then.